Hey everybody, welcome to the Wombo podcast. I'm your host, Mr. Gimpy, joined by the one, the only, the fading into the background of this AI-generated background source, Chip Monk. What's up, bro?
I'm a ghost.
What's up, dude? You're ghost in the shell right now. The
Ghost in the
microphone
machine.
has that building in front of it, and it's freaking me out. It looks pretty cool, actually. I wish
it's doing its own thing, bro.
I wish the microphones would have an LED kind of skin you could use. That'd be pretty sick.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind that.
I feel like any electronic interference doesn't work too hot with microphones.
True. Well, I mean, LEDs are just basically light.
I was looking at the Edison original Victorian quarter. You know what I'm saying? Like the little record player.
I know exactly
how they
what you're
work.
Talking about. Yeah.
I was looking at one of those things the other day. Like somebody had one.
Or
no, just like how they work, dude. I was like, because I was like, this is such a simple machine, and it was like, I don't really understand how it works at all. And it was like sound waves on a groove of wax on a wax cylinder, and it runs a needle, and it just goes up and down that sine wave, dude. I don't know. It was pretty interesting. I
find it more impressive recording back then.
Yeah.
How the fuck?
Yeah. I think about that maybe too much because I listen to all this, web novels, and a lot of them are Itsy cut into a fantasy world.
Yeah.
But it's one of the things of Forest from the Trees where it's if I send you off into the woods with the hatchet, how long before you walk out with the cell phone? It's not going to happen for 99.9999% of people.
Right.
I'm sure there's some weird fraction of a motherfucker out there just rolling around I got all the knowledge. They Thanos snapped all that into their photographic memory or something. But I feel like that isn't real, So I think about what could I build if I had to? I think I can make an engine, but I wouldn't know how to store electricity. You know what I'm saying? I feel like most people could
a combustible engine,
no, an electrical engine.
Okay,
like a battery, because it's it's pretty simple.
If you're in the woods.
No, but if I was in a medieval fantasy setting, because it's iron and copper, so it's you just take copper wire. If they have jewelry there, you probably have the tools needed to make some sort of
army of
motor.
Darkness this, basically.
Yeah, okay. Absolutely.
Got it. Okay.
If
you have a chemistry book, you're good to go.
Yeah, dude. I don't think so, dude. You could give me a chemistry book. I'd just use it as toilet paper. I'd be fucked, dude. Because a lot of chemistry is mid-level mathematics. It's a lot of high-level algebra. Whereas I don't know, it's a force over velocity.
Examples of how to make stuff, though. It's
times mass. Yeah. Dude, I was looking at fulcrums for pulleys, dude. And it's every.
What is your life, bro? What are you doing?
I'm just out here living it, bro. I'm out here living it. So it's every other position on a pulley halves the Newton force, but you also offset that by whatever it's held to. So yeah, dude. Yeah, exactly. So it's if I had to set up a bunch of pulleys and levers to lift a ship, dude, I don't know how to do that.
I got you.
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't be all right, how many things do we need? I'd be fuck, dude, just make a lot, dude. We're just whatever.
You could probably figure it out. It just wouldn't be as efficient, right?
Someone
who knew
a lot of trial and error.
Figure it out. Yeah, you could just go, okay, add more. You'd have to add more, or you'd have to put it on the fulcrum at a different point on the ship, right? To
figure out its center of mass or whatever.
Yeah,
shit.
Yeah. So I mean, the big concepts, and I feel that's the start. I think.
What about you, man? How confident are you if you get teleported into a fantasy world?
In a fantasy world,
yeah.
Not at all, dude. Not at all. I'm not the.
You're fucked.
I'm fucked. I'm completely fucked.
Yeah.
I rely on technology for most things in my life, dude.
What's the minimum thing you would need? Do you think to get to a comfortable living? Book wise, if you could take two books
with you, okay,
and one tool, some kind of tool.
I think I know enough about farming just offhand to get by with growing my own shit. Well, look, give me the staples of this fantasy world real quick, and I can tell you.
It's do you know about Dungeons and Dragons, this type of world?
A bit, yeah, sure.
All right, yeah, the high concept. You're in water deep.
Okay.
You know, it's a little city in Dungeons and Dragons, man.
Okay.
You get rolled out in
Waterdeep.
there. You
Okay,
wake up
Waterdeep.
there
So I
on the
assume it's like a
cold
Venice
cobble streets.
type thing with water
Yeah.
everywhere, right? Well, I'm fucked because I can't swim. So first of all, I'd learn how to do that. I feel.
You
So
first gotta learn to swim.
that's one book.
Get some get some goggles, some water
I think
goggles.
a monster compendium, would be there.
Yeah,
Just to
bring the
list every
actual D and
monster
D
that's
books.
there. Yeah, exactly. And
The
find
player's
some guy to
handbook.
train me in how to battle these monsters. Because I assume if anyone in real life gets transported into a D&D style scenario, right? You're just not equipped to fight these beasts. You're like,
Yeah.
okay, give me a sword, I'll be fine. I'll start hacking away. I'm sure there's specific methods. You can't
Yeah.
even a slime will come up, and fuck your shit up. I assume. You gotta know where to stab the slime. So that's
some sort of
my thought,
magical
man.
core or something.
I think that I could be charming enough to work my way into the higher society as long as
Okay, so be a rogue or something,
I
dude.
think yeah, something like that. Where like charisma checks are there, and like speech checks or whatever. Like I think I could weasel my way in and have people either help me out with this and train me or work for me because I offer something interesting with it. So
Yeah, value.
yeah, we'll see. Well,
I feel like just like being able to like read and write and like do basic mathematics, you could do like accounting and stuff, medieval
right.
accounting.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I was thinking like maybe I could be like a baker or something. And I was like thinking about like just how much shit we have and we take for granted to like make basic shit like bread and like
we haven't even bread and you're like fuck.
Yeah, dude, you gotta know about a lot of shit. That's basically chemistry, dude. Baking is chemistry.
It is. It 100% is. Yeah, baking's a science, not a form. So yeah, the very basic.
I was like, I feel like I could probably do something with that. I could build up because like all the tools, like a mixing bowl and stuff. That seems like easy enough to like reverse engineer like some sort of hand crank
you can make a
mechanism. Yeah. I've seen like the old school egg beaters. I feel like I could probably do something.
Those are pretty
like
sick,
that.
actually. The ones that go like where you
yeah,
crank it, right?
Yeah, it's like
those are cool. Yeah.
Heck yeah, dude.
I like those.
Yeah, man. So, I don't know. You've been playing any games lately, dude?
Oh yeah, it's a gaming podcast. Actually, yes, man. So as you know, the cycle ended a few weeks ago, and to be honest, like the cycle's in a state where I haven't even played it for longer than I have played it. So the memories being gone and forever gone were sad, but in the ashes of the cycle, a new game has extraction corridor shooter has taken its place, and that's Starsiege Deadzone.
Are you speaking English still, dude? What's Starsiege Deadzone?
It's based in the Starsiege universe, which is the same if you remember the game Tribes.
Did you just use the description of the name of the thing to describe the thing?
Have you played? No. Have you played Tribes? That's all I'm asking. Like it's
it's a massive online. Is there mechs in that one?
There's no mechs, but you have like exosuits kind of things.
Sounds vaguely familiar.
So its big like catch was Tribes 2 was probably the biggest one. It had 128 players in the early 2000s, all populating a capture the flag server.
All right.
So yeah, it's that world, but like 10,000 years before Tribes or whatever. So it's like fucking. It's basically Warhammer, but not.
Yeah,
so
it's legally closed.
You have some like Tribes weapons. Like the spin fuser and I'm probably going over people's heads who have never played Tribes, but it's you're on a ship that's exploding and you're looting everything. You're trying to get the fuck out. It's like Dark and Darker, but with guns and in space.
All right, yeah.
So I've been enjoying that the last few days.
You've been playing that, dude? You just been out there?
I've been playing that. Like,
you got a clan? Are you out there living it?
Just playing with the boys, just the savages.
Oh shit!
Yeah. So I've been having a good time with it. Some people, like I've seen some reviews going, "Oh, the combat's clunky, the movement's too slow, or whatever." I think that's part of the course with that type of game. It's the type of style they're going for. So I just decided to embrace that. And 99% of the weapons are projectile based instead of hit scan. So you actually have to like lead your shots and stuff, which I found very fun. So
yeah, just like people across the map.
So I've been enjoying that, and since I hit past level 15, the loot drops have been very fun, and the enemy variety of like weapons and armor they have been tough. So I've been having very, very intense matches, and because it's like you're in these like smaller corridors, fights happen a lot more often. than they did in the cycle or Dark and Darker. So I've been
Hey,
enjoying it.
is it like an open world map, or is it like little skirmish areas, or what's going on with it?
So it's like you're on this big ship, so there's like hallways and like bigger rooms and smaller rooms that you're fighting. The map it's procedurally generated each time. And the map is like Dark and Dark. We don't have like a whole map. You just have like kind of what's in the corner, and you're discovering it as you go. But overall, man, like I said, I'm enjoying it. We'll see where the devs take the game, but you know, I'd say like it's scratching the cycle and that Dark and Darker itch for me, and I'm having a good time.
Nice,
How about
man.
yourself, bro? What are you doing?
Nothing, man. I've just been chilling. I feel like pretty content. Like, I don't know. I started that one game with the the top down game, and I got to a point where I was like playing that, and I was like, this game's not fun, and I was like, I think I'm just done with this. Like, I'm finished. Like, there's no real gameplay here. I made all the systems and stuff I wanted to make. I'm happy. I'm happy with like all the work and stuff. And I was like, I don't think anyone I won't even put this up for other people to be annoyed by. I've put up non-games. I've put up like non-games before on itch.io. Like they have like the bike and chill game where you just bike around. There's no gameplay. It's just a vibe, dude. So I'm not above that. Like I also finished up that other game that was like a, game in air quotes, which is like a learning thing. So yeah, I was like, yeah, I'm good with that. And I was thinking about like my goals, my big goals for the year after like I'd finished that. And I was like, all right, I wanted to finish like an animation, which I did. I wanted to finish like a game, which I did. And I wanted to do like a comic book, which I wrote and then like started blocking out and drawing. And then I was like, man, making comic books is hard as fuck, dude.
Making comic books is very hard. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's like even like a 12-page, like simple episodic web style comic book. It's hard, dude. So I was like, man, I don't know if I'm going to finish that, but I wrote it. And I was like, I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah. I would actually argue that comic books are harder than like making an animation or making a game because of its simplicity.
Yeah.
I feel because it's so simple to like just do it on paper, it's harder to actually get something out there because you're more subject to just like, oh, it's so simple, why don't you do this, blah blah blah, or if the story's not on point, or even if your blocking is confusing, there's like it's like simplistic but to the point where you could easily fuck shit up.
Yeah, it's like you have to, each part of it's like a different skill set. The writing, inking, coloring,
and
storyboarding.
You're doing all by yourself too. What would you say your biggest strength is for it, and your biggest weakness?
I would say right now it's probably actually writing the story, like writing it, like coming up with ideas. I'm the idea guy. Sure. So I came up with like cool ideas. I came up with characters, and I was like, it's kind of like, in the vein of like a supernatural investigations, kind of like in the vein of like X-Files. And there was like, cross-dimensional war going on that somebody stumbles into, kind of like in Men in Black, where you gets, brought into this other thing. So I have like cool, interesting sci-fi ideas. Like one of it was like, there's like an underground city that's like an illusion. And like all the power lines in it are like stealing people's psychic energy, their thought energy. So it's like a grid of like that. So it's like, just interesting concepts and ideas. And then like giant mind flare style Cthulhu-esque monsters above, like stealing like their thoughts. Okay. And I was like, yeah, so high level concepts like that. And then like writing somewhat interesting characters.
Then you have to build a story, smaller story within that major time frame, right? So that's where you get the personalization and like the little characters and stuff matter.
So like for that stuff, I stuck to more like tropey stuff, more broad strokes, and that's fine. I wrote like 2 episodes of it, and then I started like writing like smaller, like one-shot episode ideas, like summary concepts.
Yes.
So I came up with like a couple dozen of those, and I was like, cool, but I need to start making this thing. So I did the storyboarding and laying it out, and like storyboarding is pretty weak. Character design's all right. It's just like really sitting down and like doing the art panel to panel. Like I looked at it and I was like, each one of these fucking panels is going to take me like 12 to 16 hours to do. And I was like, there's a lot of them. Like there's like 10 pages, like 4 or 5 panels minimum per page, dude. Like, it's like a month, 2 month commitment, which isn't crazy.
I
but
think
it's a lot of fucking work.
was it Romita Jr. Marvel artist? I think he does DC too, but he's like probably my favorite Spider-Man artist. Um, he says like whenever he's like kind of stuck in a scene, if there's no like descriptors for how the battle's going out, he'll like rough storyboard like the entire thing and just draw like stick figure things to
Yeah.
help him visualize the battle. Says it helps him just kind of get in that mindset and then go on. So I think that I thought that was an interesting approach to it.
Yeah, just start like throwing ideas or general ideas. But yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think I might even just abandon that at this point. I'm like, I wrote the shit. And I was like, do I put that up somewhere like on like a web novel or something? Because I know like, do I look for an artist? Did they do the work for me?
Right.
I'm like, it pays an exposure, kid.
Yeah, no one knows that. No
Take
one
my
knows that.
brilliant ideas and spin it into gold.
Right. Yeah, you can't Rumpelstiltskin your way out of that typically.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
yeah, dude. It's hey, you know what? Summer's not even over yet. And you pretty much accomplished all your goals. It's pretty dope.
Yeah, it's kind of where I'm at. And I was like thinking about like a new game over the last week where I've just been laying around. I'm like, but I haven't been trying to force any ideas. I'm just like sitting around trying to let them come to me, dude.
Yeah. That's respectable, dude. Just living.
Just out here living, bro.
So there is something I did want to get into this week. So one of the big things about like what gaming's going through right now is kind of like we're seeing the same genres. We're seeing the same type of multiplayer games come out. So one of the big things I thought of that what is something that we haven't seen in a while that can make a comeback, whether it's a remake, whether it's a new entry into the series, whether it's genre that could work today and kind of like light the world on fire. Whether it's a personal thing or what. Do you have any thoughts on this?
Yeah, I'm right there with you because it seems like big studios really aren't going to take chances on like a new IP. Yeah. So it's like, what do they have back there in the coffers, in the corporate coffers that they can like pull out, dust off, and put a brand new paint a coat on, dude?
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. Have you ever heard of this game, The Adventures of Bayou Billy by Konami, dude?
No.
All
it's
right.
very rare that I haven't heard of a game. Go on. What is this out on? And
NES. It's basically kind of like River City Ransom plus Pitfall plus Contra. I don't know, dude. It's weird. Like you beat up alligators with sticks at points, dude. It's a weird ass game.
Was this an arcade game at first? Or?
I don't know. All I played on was the NES. That's where I know it from. It's it's like a side scroller. I know like all the battles just took like way too long. Like it's like every battle is basically like a Dark Souls level encounter of like you had to strategize to beat up like things. Sure. But it played like River City Ransom, where it's like there's like two guys. It's like they didn't know how to do like side scrolling combat yet. It was still too new of an idea. But I think you take like those ideas and like you put like a modern. If they remade this game like in the Metal Gear engine, the new Metal Gear engine, dude, it would work. Yeah, why not? Put it in the Fox engine. Just a dude with a wooden stick beating up alligators and dudes who I think they kidnapped his girlfriend. Like it's just very boilerplate. Simple shit.
Yeah.
You got New Orleans as the backdrop. It's a beautiful city.
You'd have to like retitle it for today. Like I don't think the Adventures of Bayou Billy would sell.
Bayou's a real place, bro.
It is, but I just don't think that title would sell.
I think people would get it just to see what it's about. They're like, "What's this?" Or what's something better, dude? What's got that name cachet, dude? What are you thinking over there, dude?
Oh, if it's the same type of game. I don't know. I'd call it like the Legend of the Bayou or something like that. Just like
I'm saying like, dude, what game would you bring out that like, people would be like, oh, I recognize that.
Okay. I think
the Legend of Bayou Billy.
I think what's missing right now is large co-op campaigns where it's kind of like revolved around like one trope. Like, do you remember like Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, where you could play through the entire game, but you had to like take the little bubble that you had and carry it with you to fight because you couldn't survive outside of the bubble. Like a big like co-op, just like crutch like that, where no matter what you have to do that. Whereas 4 players, and I think like something like the like the Zelda co-op mode, like the Four Swords, where it was
Yeah,
legitimately a Zelda game, but you had to use all four of you to solve
this is
the
the worst
puzzles. You know,
selling Zelda game of all time, but I've played it. I know exactly what you're talking
I
about.
thought it was fantastic. I thought it was
Yeah,
great. But I want like four players, and I want like a deep combat engine. You know, with like RPG elements where you could make the character your own, and I want like some sort of like co-op element where it kind of forces everyone to work together, where you can't just split up and do everything. You should always be on the same screen at the same time. Where it's something
yeah.
that keeps you there, because I feel like that camaraderie like forces cooperation. You know, like that size or whatever. Whether you have to expand the camera to give them a bigger room or not.
You
But
know, I
I
was
think
thinking about
something like
kind
that.
of like this was
Hmm.
Resistance Fall of Man. I think Resistance 2. There's
Okay.
like a point where like your team meets up with like you play the one main character going through everything, but at a certain point like you meet up with like another team, then you're like trying to get them in through this alien facility or whatever on Earth,
Hmm.
uh, and then like the general or whatever like is like, oh, you guys got to go this, like half the team has to go this way,
Sure.
the other
Sure.
half has to go. They split the team.
Yep.
I think like concepts like that could work. I know like they do stuff kind of like that in like a Destiny, where it's like to be like
Yeah.
some of the raid bosses and stuff, you have to
Yeah.
half the team has to like do like Simon Says or whatever, while the other
Yeah,
half
yeah,
like
yeah. Where it's
solves
stuff
their
like that,
puzzle.
or
Yeah,
multi-tiered bosses where there's different like weak points or something
yeah,
to hit them. Different like strategies to fight. Like really design the entire game around four people. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Just do
Just
that.
working together to like do different objectives to accomplish the same objective.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. Or
yeah,
like even something like as small as like remember in Gears of War where you had to like point the light at your buddy so they wouldn't get like swarmed by the locust things,
yeah,
like stuff like that. I was like, okay, this is cool. You know, like do that. Give me four players. Give me something like that. I think full. And we have the technology right now. Every console supports four players. Net play is at a point where it's great now. Like we could
yeah.
do this, you know, and people are like, "Oh, what about single player or whatever?" Like I love single player games, and I think that single player right now is in a great spot. Like all of the games of the years are single player experiences. Like I think we're
Yeah.
good there. Give me like a full co op thing, and don't like sugarcoat it. Going, okay, this is just design it purely for four players. If
Yeah.
you have less than four, like you can still work it or whatever, right? Like have someone be able
Nah,
to like
dude,
switch their
forget it, dude.
character, but fuck them. You know what I mean? At the end of the
Yeah.
day,
I
just
go like I go straight up like, nah, fuck them, dude.
yeah,
Like just straight up for this is games has an intent and this is how it's meant to be played and experienced. Like
yeah,
you
yeah.
either like get some strangers online or meet some friends, dude. Like
Yeah,
it is
yeah,
what it is.
because I'm looking at games that I enjoyed playing back in the day or whatever, and there's no game like it now. Like let's look, Lost Vikings 1 and 2, right?
Yeah.
Playing that co-op, like having to solve the puzzles using the Vikings you have at your disposal to get through the level. That was a great. But 1 and 2 are great co-op experiences, right? And then we have the like co-op platformers like Trine 1 through 4 or whatever to try and scratch that same itch. But something about the Trine series just is too slow and just doesn't interest me enough.
Yeah. I was
And
thinking
it's
about the Lost
comedy and stuff like that.
Vikings a month ago. And how it was like basically Portal before Portal, like the way their
Yeah,
puzzles and
yeah,
stuff are laid
shit.
out. I was like,
Portal
yeah,
Two's co-op mode was fucking top tier, dude. That game was
yeah.
amazing. So
Imagine
like,
that, but with Lost Vikings, dude.
yeah. I think and right now the
Saying
co-op
Blizzards should
experiences.
dust off Lost Vikings and make
Yeah,
a Portal
maybe
2
they should.
style.
But I think the main thing that we're kind of pointing out right now is the co-op experiences we have right now are like the easy mode of co-op where it's just like one big campaign, you just throw more people in to fight the same thing, right? Like it
Yeah,
doesn't there's
or each
no
other.
or each other, right? There's no like splitting off segmenting of tasks where it's
Isn't
like
there
two different
like
things
that
together.
one huge game right now? It's like Trench Warfare. I know, like, I'll say James was playing it a ton. It's like a top-down game where it's like there's different
Foxhole.
military rules. Yeah, Foxhole, dude. Foxhole's kind of like that, where it's like they have like I heard like the people who do logistics in that game were going on strike against the makers of the yeah, because they're like, we want like these like quality of life improvements to doing logistics.
That's
Uh,
that's cool.
yeah,
That's a PvP focused thing though.
yeah,
Like
yeah, but
I'm
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 saying
more
like there's
talking
different roles.
PvE.
There's different roles that people could play. You could take that you could take Foxhole and then like have it be like versus like monsters or the bugs. Store
Right.
you have a Starship Troopers, you
Oh
know,
yeah, yeah. One of the things
reskin of
too,
that game.
like the game Chrome Hounds from
The
Software
Space
made on
Marines.
Xbox 360, um, to do certain like night missions. If you didn't equip a radar, you had to have like a person's mech designed specifically to give you information. Like
Yeah.
I remember running at a
Recon.
professor had like
Scout.
a recon mech, and he had like night vision and he had radar, and he would just tell us like coordinates where to shoot. And my mech was like a anti-air kind of a mech or whatever. So I'm like just shooting blind into the darkness wherever he's telling me. And then there's like some PvP elements where other mechs were attacking us, and we had to protect Professor while we were getting attacked. We had this other mission to do where just destroy a base, right? Where each person, we had 4 people. We each had specialized mechs for certain things, you know, um, and
Hey,
just greater gameplay like that, like
it's
no
true,
other
man.
game have I had to have a pure recon like oriented mech. Like he had some defenses, but not really. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, they've really eroded like the position of roles in games too, like in a lot of modern games where it's like
yeah, you have
everyone
like
can be
dual roles,
everything.
right? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Even things like I think Overwatch 2 does an okay job of that where it's like almost to its own detriment though, of like where it's like all you can do is heal. So if like you're on a team of clowns and they can't fucking shoot for shit, like you're
yeah,
kind of fucked. like
right,
you
right.
and then, like the second you try and like actually start like shooting or contributing like any sort of damage, like your team starts like losing their damn mind. And it's like, well, you guys suck. like,
Yeah,
or you'll be in a position where you're like, why do I have the most kills as the healer? And then the rest of the team's like flaming you of like, you need to keep us alive. And it's like, it's hard to when you guys run out like one at a time.
yeah, yeah.
So,
Overwatch
you know,
has a host of problems though, but yeah,
yeah.
I get
Oh,
that
yeah, yeah,
scenario for
yeah.
sure.
But I'm saying there's like pros and cons to like just specific, you know, min maxing like different roles for the people to like thrive in them. Where it's like if you're playing with like a small group of people, it tends to work. But when you get to larger groups of people, or where there's like more gradient in like their ability, it can become you know, a little bit more detrimental to like the entire you know, thing, dude. You know what I'm saying?
I
The
get it. I get
experience.
it. I
That's
get it.
the word I'm looking
For
for.
sure. For sure.
The big you know, $7 word there, experience.
Sure. We're at the tail end of the pod here. Any final thoughts on what you wanted to come back with your thought?
Yeah, if we're talking about like games,
Hmm.
about video games, bro.
Yes.
Let me throw this out there. Maniac Mansion, dude. I
Did
like
we
to see
talk about this last week, or did we talk about this just like one on one? I
just
don't know
you
if
and
we talked
me.
about it on the
Yeah.
pod.
Just you and
Okay.
me talking
Yeah,
about it.
I was
We're just
like,
out there. I was like,
it's been coming out a lot, and I was like, no, we just talked about it. No,
we just talk about it a lot outside of the pod.
Yeah,
Like, let me
right.
just throw this out.
Such
I
a
threw out
good
like
game.
me and you were talking a little bit about you know, games to remake at one point. We're like, yeah, Maniac Mansion. That's why it's kind of like in my mind, the forefront.
Yeah. I agree with that. Maniac Mansion should be remade. I think it would work well in the VR space. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, I think it'd be.
Yeah.
Dave the Tentacle, I feel I I feel has a bigger following because of the modernness of it. You know, because Maniac Mansion definitely was an early adventure game.
I think Maniac Mansion had a bigger reach because it was on the NES. That's my feel, but I
mm,
could be wrong.
True. I don't know if the casual public realizes that Dave the Tentacle is the sequel to Maniac Mansion either. You know, because it wasn't announced as like Maniac Mansion 2. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Stay of the
So
Tentacle, man.
I'm curious, but
It's the Adventures of the Bayou instead of Bayou Billy, dude.
but you know, right? But I was gonna say, like, in terms of like sequels
Legends.
like that, I think that or adventure games, I do think adventure games are coming back, and VR, and we have to thank for that. VR and Telltale, you know, like those style
Yeah.
games. So
Yeah, do you see anything
who
coming
else?
out in VR? It's like any noteworthy things happening there?
Uh, on PSVR 2, there's some cool stuff, but they're exclusive.
I
Nothing,
was thinking about doing some
nothing big right
sculpting
now.
again on
Yeah,
Adobe Medium.
sure.
Like I said, I've been like trying to just kind of reset and rest. So I'm like,
Yeah,
maybe I should just do some, you know, 3D modeling, sketching
yeah,
in that, some
sure.
VR sculpting, dude.
Yeah, dude, get your ghost on. Your
Yeah,
Demi
dude.
Moore, Patrick Swayze.
Dude, I make some pretty decent models in there, dude. I'm do all right.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, dude. That's awesome.
Don't judge me, bro.
I'm not judging you at all, brother. I'm
I
not
can make
judging you at
some,
all.
but like I don't know. I make like okay mechs, and then I'm like, what is this for? What am I doing with my life? like, because I don't know, you can export them from there, but then I'm like, what am I even using this shit for? Because it's like,
Can you put the skeleton on in there too, or is it just modeling?
it's just like sculpting. Yeah, it's like
Okay.
just straight up modeling. So it's like you have
Okay.
like these really high poly models that are like sculpts that look beautiful.
Yeah.
If you take the time and like, but I'm like, I don't. You'd have to like, decimate the mesh to get like a lower poly mesh, and then like bake
Yeah.
in the normal maps and break up the model so you can actually like articulate it, or like
Sure.
throw in an armature and set up bone weights and shit. And I'm like, I don't want to fucking do that. Like,
Yes, for sure.
yeah.
For sure.
But like, then I'm just like sculpting beautiful things, and I'm like, I have this beautiful thing, and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck to do with that.
Just display it, man, if you want to, or just.
That's what I was thinking about, bro. I've been thinking about getting a resin 3D printer. But yeah, I heard that shit's toxic, dude.
Yeah. We'll talk about this off the pod. We end here.
All right.
All right. This is for the Combo Wombo podcast. I'm Mr. Gimpy. That's
Chipmunk.
We out of here. Like, share, subscribe.
Peace.